quote that Eckhart has. This is one of my favorite quotes in chapter 1, where he says, "Man made God in his own image. The eternal, the infinite, and unnameable was reduced to a mental idol that you had to believe in and worship as my God or our God."
Jesus says, you are the light of the world. It means you are the consciousness in which the world appears, is seen.
So you believe what happens to us at death when the body dies? You don't have a belief.
I don't give it any thought.
You don't. God, in the essence of all consciousness, isn't something to believe. God is.
Yes.
God is. And God is a feeling experience, not a believing experience.
That's right.
And if that your religion is a believing experience, if God for you is still about a belief, then it's not truly God.
David Icke, the former footballer, television presenter and Green Party spokesman, hit the headlines when he claimed that spirit forces had chosen him to lead a campaign to save the world.
What I want to ask you is if you could clarify this for us. Are you saying that you are the second coming?
Let me explain this. I'm not saying I'm the second coming of Christ, of Jesus, because Jesus was a separate entity.
Is this reincarnation as well, David?
Well, yes, because, what we do with reincarnation is come back into a physical shell in different circumstances to aid our learning. It's a learning process of evolution. We evolve as we learn and experience. But once you reach a certain frequency, due to evolution, you have the ability also to create beings. And it's this process of creating beings, the Godhead creating beings, those beings then evolving to the point where they can, creating more, them going up, and so on.
You come to that conclusion that it's fundamentally confused?
Because I am in contact and in communication with those at the highest levels of creation who are passing on this information. You see, you're shaking your head, my friend.
Can I ask you then, you're saying you're in contact with the highest communications. Would that be God, or...?
But with the being we call the Godhead, certainly. But you see, how do you think...
What Christians would call God.
What Christians would call God. You are in direct communication with God. That's where you get your voices from and everything else, yeah?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying? Right.
Now just let me put...
It went from there, we got talking about spirit worship.
Did it intrigue you? Did it make you want to find out more about what exactly he was talking about?
Yeah. So, he said the supposed spirits of the dead that you're talking with are demon spirits. They're fallen angels. They're beautiful beings.
Just set it out, just like that.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't make you uneasy when he said they were...
Well, it shocked you a little bit, you know? Something that you first hear mentioned to you. He said, you guys have got a great future ahead of you. Because we've been told, the high priest of our society, secret society, has been told that the master has very special plans for you too.
Now, what did he mean by the master?
Satan. He told us, he says, look, we worship spirits. We worship Lucifer and all his angels. They're just as beautiful as they did before they were cast out of heaven. He says there was a misunderstanding in the whole thing. He said among the inhabitants of the galaxies. And he says our master was misunderstood. And God did not bear with him like he does with people that make mistakes today. So we're in a warfare, good against evil.
You're listening to The Hour of the Time. I'm your host, William Cooper. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we begin the origin, the history, the dogma, and the identity of the ancient mystery religions which are now known as the mystery schools. The Order of the Quest, Freemasonry, the Ancient Order of the Rose and Cross, the Knights Templar, the Sovereign and Military Order of the Knights of Malta, the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, the Priory de Sion, the Thule Society, are sometimes known as the Thule Society, the Order, the Skull and Bones, the Russell Trust, the Jason Society, the Scroll and Key, the Illuminati, and I could go on and on and on and on. But the most important thing to realize is that they all have been collectively known throughout the ages as the mystery schools, the Illuminati, which literally means illumined ones. They are all one and the same, as you will come to know. And you will understand perfectly how they've been able to infiltrate all of our society. And their first object of worship was the sun. The second object of worship was the moon. And everywhere you see the mystery schools or the mystery religion, you will see the symbols of the sun and the moon, also known as Osiris and Isis. For in the religion of the mystery schools, they believed that man was held prisoner in the Garden of Eden by an unjust and vindictive God. And that man was not told by this unjust and vindictive God that he could have the same powers. And man was set free from the bonds of ignorance by Lucifer.
They hate Christians, they hate Christianity. And the first object is to destroy the Christian church and Christians, to wipe them off the face of the earth. If you are a Christian, you are in the greatest danger that you can even imagine at this moment as the New World Order takes shape around you.